What happens when you turn two hillbillies loose in New York City for a weekend? Well, it gets kind of crazy. We had a lot of fun, but...
Elevator was a bad idea.
Hey, it's me, Buford, and we're here in New York City. Yep, me and Bueladean are continuing our trip across the eastern seaboard, and we're having a whole lot of fun here in the Big Apple. Let's see how we got here.
Well, first of all, we had to get out of Philadelphia, and our train was delayed. We got a text from Amtrak telling us the train was delayed, just as the train was pulling in the station. I mean, it's only a half hour.
I'll take that over 5 hours any day.
So off we went through the glorious hinterlands of New Jersey. You know, I might be overselling that. I'll just say after a couple of days in Philadelphia, it felt good to be back on the train.
Speak for yourself.
So we went off through New Jersey, and quite honestly, it is an interesting ride. I mean, as Bueladean said, you kind of get to see all of America. You get to see inner city, you get to see neighborhoods, you get to see older neighborhoods, and it's not really a bad ride. It was a beautiful day, and we enjoyed ourselves. These old neighborhoods always make me think of the opening sequence of All in the Family. I'd sing the song, but we'd get sued. Hey, look, Bueladean, what's that in the distance?
That looks like my home sweet home.
She's really from Georgia. She just loves New York. And that's the end of our Amtrak adventure. Now on to New York City. So we landed in New York City, and you know the first thing we had to do? We had to find us a slice of pizza.
Around here, we just call it a slice.
When did you go native? So we called some buddies of ours who lived in New York City, and they told us where the best one was, right here in Penn Station. And we found it. Nice to have that one crossed off the bucket list. So we're back in New York City.
Start spreading the news.
Stop it, Bueladean.
I'm leaving today.
Baby, I'm telling you, quit.
I just want to be a part of it.
You're gonna have to stop. You're gonna get us in trouble. So anyway, we're back in New York City, Bueladean's favorite place. No standing anytime.
That's how we New Yorkers roll.
You are not from New York. Well, I wish you'd look. Them Hatfields are even here in New York City. Hope there ain't no McCoys. We finally made it to our hotel, the Westgate, New York, Grand Central. It's actually about 3 blocks from Grand Central. It's a beautiful place with friendly staff. Look at that fella over there. He's waving at us.
And he's using all 5 fingers.
Isn't that nice?
Isn't that nice?
Most New Yorkers don't go to that effort.
Well, I do.
You're not from New York.
Yeah, but my heart is.
Now this time we were smart enough to remember to video the room before we messed it up. So Bueladean, let me show you what this one looked like. Now we thought the hotel room we had in Philadelphia was small. Shoot, that one looked like a palace compared to this one. There was just enough room to walk around the bed. But I will say, it was a clean, comfortable room, very well decorated. Well look, there's a painting of Gustav Klimt's The Kiss to set the mood.
And the window cleaners outside to ruin it. Why did you take a picture of the rug?
Because it really tied the hall together. So it was time to go and get us some supper.
We New Yorkers call it dinner.
So we went to a really nice little Spanish place. Bueladean got her a margarita, and I got me a Spanish beer. We got us a tapas plate. Well, actually, we got 2 tapas plates, and we ate half of both of them before we realized we hadn't videoed them, so we put them together and made them look like one plate anyway.
We needed to know that.
We got to the restaurant early, so we were able to get a good video of it without a lot of people in it. And it did fill up before we left. Now, I know if you watch this channel a lot, you already think I love chicken livers better than any food in the world, and that's not really the truth, but when I see them on a menu, I'm almost always inclined to try them. And this time, I got to try Spanish-style chicken livers. How good were they? Buford's Happy Dance. Now, Bueladean got the chicken, and as you can see, they thought she had friends coming with her, and a gigantic pile of rice. And then I decided I'd get some octopus. I didn't realize I was going to get a whole one, and enough spinach to make Popeye whoop the whole Navy. But it was very, very good. Bueladean tried octopus one time.
And that was enough.
I don't know what she don't like about it. Then we had dessert. We had tartuffe, which in French is a play by Moliere, but in Spanish is gelato covered in chocolate. And I had to get me a cup of espresso.
big man with a little cup.
There's a whole pot of coffee worth of caffeine in that thing. Wish that boy in Philadelphia could see me now. Now, the website said that our hotel had a restaurant, but apparently it closed due to COVID. They do have a bar where we could get a drink and a coffee, and they had a little convenience store, and Bueladean found her jam.
Birthday cake in a bag. Sounds too good to be true.
Next morning, we decided to go see some of New York. There's the Chrysler Building. That's the building that Will Smith jumped off of in Men in Black 3. That was long before he jumped off his whole career on that stage in Hollywood. Now, after that heavy meal last night, I wanted something light for breakfast, so I decided on juice. I love fresh juice.
And you can have it. Ugh.
I wish we had a juice bar in Boogertown. I'd eat there twice a day and I'd weigh about 175 pounds.
Wouldn't you say that you drank at a juice bar and not ate at a juice bar? I mean, we New Yorkers, we drink our juice.
Then we saw Grand Central Station. That's where they filmed part of the movie The Fisher King. It's also the location of my old nemesis, stairs. So we finally made it down the stairs into the subway, and we headed off for Times Square, where we were happy to see they had an elevator.
That was a short-lived happiness.
Elevator was a bad idea.
I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but let's just say that somebody had used the elevator for something other than its intended purpose. Somebody owes the subway authority a letter of apology. I wouldn't mind getting a copy of that myself.
I don't know if I can ever use an elevator again.
Took us a little while to get our appetites back, but we did, and we found this little place right off of Times Square called the European Cafe. Bueladean wanted her a real breakfast. Juice isn't good enough for her. And after seeing the menu and finding out that they had crepes with cream cheese, lox, and spinach, well, let's just call it brunch.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Bueladean had eggs and bacon and toast, and it was pretty good, wasn't it?
It was really good.
You can't go in a deli in New York City and not eat something. I mean, look at all this food. Now, I thought that people in New York didn't have no culture, but looky here. Hot Now Donuts. These people are uptown now.
That's how we roll.
Oh, I get what you did there. Donuts, roll. Pretty funny for a New Yorker. New York City. Here's Times Square.
Shh, shh. Just let it happen. Enjoy the sights and the sounds.
Just not the
smells.
Yeah. Can I talk now?
Yeah, we're out of Times Square now, so have at it.
All right, there's the Empire State Building. That's where they filmed King Kong.
Is this going to be a movie review tour?
Well, I mean, no, it's just, I'm kind of a movie geek. As you can tell from this footage, we did decide to take another double-decker tour like we did in Philadelphia. There's Madison Square Park. You know, there's a statue of Admiral Farragut there, and he was born in Knoxville. And right there's the Flatiron Building. There's 2 New York icons in the same shot.
Well, it would have been 3 if you'd have put me in the picture.
Okay, first of all, you're not an icon. And secondly, you ain't from New York.
One of the things you notice about my town is it has such beautiful architecture.
I give up. Now that building in the distance there with the green top, that's the Woolworth Building. Now, my daddy used to work for Woolworth many years ago when there was a Woolworth. You kids don't even know what I'm talking about. Google it. But years ago when I first came to New York City, I went to the Woolworth Building because I wanted to see it. They threw me out.
Did they say, stay out of Woolsworth?
You realize that's a movie reference.
Oh, brother.
So when I sent this picture to my daddy and said, look, I saw the Woolworth Building again, he said, for goodness sake, don't try to go in there. Now we're going to show you a real icon, the Brooklyn Bridge, but we're going to show it to you like no one's ever shown it to you before. Underneath.
I mean, anybody can show it to you from the top.
Then we came to Chinatown. Hey, Bueladean, didn't you want to get a purse here?
Yeah, I wanted to get me one of those fake Louis Vuittons.
I guess that would be a lousy Vuitton. And here's the underside of the Manhattan Bridge. Boy, do we know how to show you a good time or what. There's lots of ways to get around New York. Bicycle, helicopter, boat, Uber, taxi cab, subway,
Just don't take the elevator.
yeah, and double-decker buses, too. Now we're coming up towards One World Trade Center. If you get a chance to go and visit that, you should. The last time we were here, we did the 9/11 Museum, and it was a very somber moment for us. And we went all the way to the top of One World Trade Center. It is worth the trip, even just for the elevator ride.
Now, that's one elevator that you do need to take in New York.
Then we took a drive up the west side on the Hudson River, and we saw some beautiful architecture, some really neat places, cool little parks, and we passed Hugh Jackman's house. I didn't get a picture of that because by the time they told us, we'd already passed it. We was going to drop in, but Bueladean said that'd be rude, so next time we'll call ahead. Pick a bagel. That sounds like a really bad magic trick. Is this your bagel? Then we went around Columbus Circle. There's old Christopher Columbus's own self. And we headed up the west side of Central Park. Look, Bueladean, that girl's wearing overalls.
How do you always find the one person wearing overalls in every city that we visit?
We got this website where we coordinate our movements. There's the Dakota. That's where they filmed Rosemary's Baby.
It was also where John Lennon was murdered.
Oh, yeah, you had to go and make it dark.
Oh, Rosemary's Baby isn't dark enough?
Let's just sit back and enjoy the view. I love the feeling of the wind in my hair.
Lord knows you got enough of it.
Wind or hair?
Both.
There's the Guggenheim. They filmed a scene from Men in Black there. And there's the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Us locals call it the Met.
I don't think any New Yorker ever used the term us locals. Anyway, that's where they filmed Don't Eat the Paintings. Sesame Street goes to the Metropolitan Museum.
Really? That's what you came up with?
I watched it twice. So after our tour around New York, it was time for lunch. By the way, if you're enjoying these videos we're doing, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know when we make new videos, because we're going to be doing a lot more of these and we want y'all along. So we ate at this place called Lagos, and we decided to share a meal. We'd already eaten quite a bit today. So we had a beautifully cooked piece of salmon with mashed potatoes and asparagus. And as you can see by the empty plate, it was good. Look at that happy hour, 12 to 8. That's a lot of hours. So we decided to go back to the hotel and just relax for the evening. We ordered food in with Uber Eats.
The way you cut this video makes it look like all we did was eat.
Well, you want me to follow you to the bathroom? But we did get a New York staple, Shake Shack, and it was really good.
As a New Yorker, I highly recommend that place.
I don't know what I'm going to do with this woman.
Well, what have we learned today? Well, we've learned that sometimes the stairs is the better option, especially if you're leaving the subway. Whew. I'm going to think about that for years. We've also learned that New York's a beautiful place with a lot of great things to see and do, and usually pretty friendly people. So you guys come back and join the rest of this journey and tell us where you think we've got to go down in the comments.